Good evening and welcome to the news. President Patrick Emini has announced a major list of new government appointments. These includes appointments of Secretary of States. These changes are meant to strengthen leadership, improve coordination, and ensure better services for all Seychellois. All appointments take effect today, while CEO positions will be announced later this month. Overcoming disruption, transforming the AIDS response is this year's theme for World AIDS Day. The Minister for Health, Dr. Marvin Fanny, announced the theme during a ceremony held this morning, noting that Seychelles has not been spared from a disease that continues to affect thousands of people worldwide. During the event, the ministry's technical team for AIDS also delivered a presentation on the current situation in the country. They reported that 1,572 people are living with HIV, 1,013 men and 559 women. Last year alone, the Ministry of Health recorded 95 new cases, an increase of 10 compared to previous year, 2023, when 85 cases were detected. There are currently 485 people that are known to be living with AIDS in Seychelles. According to the Ministry of Health, 1,008 individuals are receiving treatment for the disease. Minister Fanny added that despite the numerous successes in dealing with the disease, there is still a lot more to be done.
We must acknowledge the populations that are marginalized and are being left behind. Our transformed response must proactively target these people, find them and reach out to our young person, the migrant worker, the person who uses drug, and other vulnerable groups. We must ensure that our children are reached with age-appropriate messages as early as possible, and that parents and teachers are equipped with the right tools to pass on the right information. The transformation requires us to fully integrate innovation and expand them, self-testing kits that empower individuals, to new antiretroviral molecules that reduce the pill burden, amongst others. Transformation is about breaking barriers, building bridges, and strengthening systems which take into account the well-being of every citizen. Transformation calls upon not just our international collaborators, but also all of local partners, the private sector, civil society, faith-based organizations, and the broader community to work closely with us and the broader Ministry of Health. Transformation is also about further reaching out to people living with HIV/AIDS and their families and involving them in finding solutions.
On World AIDS Day today, the 1st of December, the organization that supports people living with HIV and AIDS, HASO, organized a workshop with participants from various work institutions. The aim of the workshop was to raise awareness of the disease and efforts to prevent new cases. Program coordinator of HASO, Tessie Madeleine, says it is important that there is more awareness and education on the disease to also combat discrimination and stigma, especially in the workplace. The workshop also featured a discussion on how substance abuse can increase the risk of HIV transmission and worsen the health condition of a person living with the disease. This year's World AIDS Day theme is Overcoming Disruption, Transforming the AIDS Response, which highlights the vital role of healthcare workers, communities, and civil society in strengthening and adapting HIV/AIDS programs. President Patrick Emini noted in his message for the occasion that the Seychelles has made significant progress over the past decade to protect public health thanks to the dedication of many individuals and organizations. President Emini said that despite the progress, the fight continues since young people remain at risk and stigma and discrimination still hinder access to services. He has reaffirmed the government support for prevention, early detection, and free lifelong treatment, urging people living with HIV to stay engaged in care. Seychelles is chairing the 10th meeting of the Committee for the Economic Partnership Agreement between the European Union and the ESA 5 members, the Eastern and Southern African 5. They are the Seychelles itself, Mauritius, Madagascar, the Comoros, and Zimbabwe. The meeting is a follow-up to the meeting of the committee held in 2022, aimed at bringing better trade understanding in the member countries. The Principal Secretary for Trade and Investment, Nathalie Edmond, says that negotiations are ongoing and that Seychelles is already conducting trade with countries in this partnership. The Landscape and Waste Management Agency, LWMA, has launched a new appeal for people to respect the ban on liquid and rotten waste dumped in landfills. The decision was taken earlier this year in view of serious concerns about environmental and public health. At a press conference this morning, the Chief Executive Officer of the LWMA, along with a board member, talked about the problems that are continuously affecting the operation of the landfill. The Chief Executive Officer of LWMA, Shane Emily, says the landfill has not been conserved to manage this type of waste in a sustainable manner. He added that the practice of dumping such waste should have been stopped decades ago.
This ban has a lot of benefits. The benefits will, in fact, lead towards a reduction in leachate generation and also making sure that there is a reduction in odor that would, in fact, dissipate in the community. It won't be as before because we've had a lot of complaints where people would actually say there's a bad smell coming from the landfill, depending on the season of the year, especially during the southeast trade winds, where there's a lot of wind being blown towards Cascade, for example. And also, that would also safeguard the health and safety of our operator and also our staff, because we've noticed that there is part of the landfill where the land is not stable because of the accumulation of sludge over time. So all of that will, in fact, yield quite a few benefits for the landfill, for the community, for the operator, and for its staff and the users as well. Long term, we hope that through proper technical analysis, there might be a need for different landfill users to also explore the use of technology for them to process this type of waste and other types of waste that should not be disposed of at a landfill, not engineered at all for liquid waste.
We've come to the end of this news summary. Thank you for watching, and I will be back with more news in Creole at 8 p.m., so stay tuned.